Hey guys, Coupon to Provide here, and today I'm coming at you guys with a no pantry, no problem food storage solution. These are going to be for those who do not have pantries in their homes, but you do have cabinets to work with to store all of your grocery items and dish items for your family. Now, if you've seen my own pantry organization video, you know that I have a fairly large pantry, but I wanted to approach this with real-life solutions. I've lived in many places with very small pantries or only cabinets to work with, so I totally know how you feel. So in these systems, I'm going to make sure that I actually factor in functionality, organization, and maintaining a display while fully utilizing every piece of storage to its maximum. Now, for those of you with children, we always want to make sure we implement systems that are simple, put in and pull out one-step systems, so I made sure to do that as well. Now, typically above every fridge is free open storage. Since your children don't do the cooking, keep these types of spaces filled with products suitable to their needs with easy one-step systems. Put in and pull out. So starting with the top of the fridge, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the containers that I use. Now, just to put it into perspective for you, I always buy these huge tins of coffee. This one is 33 ounces and I fit it into these Walmart containers perfectly. So they are definitely great for storing bulk product because they stack very nicely. So if you need them to stack on the refrigerator, they will. Now, these containers do come in a 4-piece, and so you can get some perspective on the size. The biggest container can fit that whole tin inside of it and have plenty of space for more. I absolutely love these, and they retail for about $7 for the entire set. That is a great purchase price with so much function and a very nice piece. Now, I have 2 clear containers that I found at King Dollar, but you could definitely use the other containers from that same little set for your cereal. I love these containers. They are so simple to just grab a hold of. Now, they are not airtight containers, but they do have twist lids, and each container holds about 2 bags of cereal. Now, I did kind of want to give you guys an idea of how much the other container holds. It is a large container from the 4-piece set, and I poured 1 full container into that one and half of the other one. So that's about 3 bags of cereal per large container. Next, we're going to take a look at this dishwash container, which was 97 cents at Walmart, and you can find them at Dollar Tree as well for $1. And this one I thought would be a really great idea to go ahead and put our packaged breakfast foods or snack foods, kind of like the crackers or oatmeal, grits, Pop-Tarts, anything like that that your family can access quickly in the morning. And when it comes to real-life systems, we have to keep in mind all the family members that we have, right? So anything that we're utilizing needs to hold a lot of product. Now, I don't know about you, but there are several packs of oatmeal and Malt-O-Meal, kids' oatmeal, crackers, Pop-Tarts, and so on in just this one bin. So it is definitely realistic to believe that anything that you buy, even if you buy a couple at a time, is going to fit perfectly in this one bin and incorporate itself very well into your system without overwhelming the top of the refrigerator. A really great thing about having limited space in this one container ensures that you won't overbuy product that could potentially go bad, and you will have enough product for your family to enjoy. It's simply a matter of prioritizing the product that you purchase and make sure that it's product that you'll actually use. Now, the next bin we're actually going to look in is a Dollar Tree white bubble bin. That's what I like to call it. I have several of these in my laundry area, guys, and we're going to use this one for our snack items. This is going to be the stuff that you put into your kids' lunches or after school snack bars and things like that. And I want to show you exactly how much fits in this one basket. Now, I have 5 children, and each child gets an after-school snack, including Boogie, even though he doesn't go to school. And my middle children all take snacks in their lunch kits. Damien takes whatever he wants to take, but I think in this one bin, it'll definitely cover about a week's worth of after-school snacks and lunch snacks. You could even go as far as prepping your chip portions into Ziploc bags. That's what I usually do for my own children when I prep for the week in their lunches, and it would maximize your space even more than what it is. Now that I have pulled everything out of the bins for you and kind of showed you a size comparison and showed you how much product actually fits into these containers and bins, you definitely have to agree that you can get a ton of product into this small space for your family. As the cook of the family, I kind of like that it's away from all the other foods to make sure that I maintain the organization in those cabinets. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and move into our dish area, and I have open cabinets so you see that everything is visible. I definitely think that prioritizing in this area is going to be a determining factor of the look that you get at the end. As you can see, I have maximized storage on just the first shelf by utilizing a rack. I have large dishes, medium dishes, and even small serving dishes. When you purchase your dishes, you want to make sure that you have enough variety to ensure that everybody has a plate, whether it's company or family. If you have small children, you can get plastic plates that coordinate with your overall look. Now, my white plastic plates are the Crofton brand from Aldi, and all of my other plates were actually from King Dollar, where you can find dishes for $1.25 in the Houston area. Now, these wire racks are actually very common in thrift stores, so keep an eye out for them there. But if not, they sell them in a set at Walmart, and you could utilize them in different spaces of your home and definitely maximize your storage use or your storage space usage. As you can see, being limited to this one little shelf for all of my dishes practically, it does not limit you to the fun that you can have with your dishware. Also, you'll notice that I have high quantity plates here. There's not sets of 4 or 3 or 2 or anything like that. There are several of each type of plate, and they all fit very nicely in this one space. And there's even room to grow. On the next shelf, every dish set has to have bowls. You have soups and things like that you need to serve, so you have to have bowls incorporated to your dishes. I actually have 6, but 2 are in the dishwasher. But as you can see, they stack nicely. So even if I did start off with a 4, I would still have room for growth. And I have a Lazy Susan to the left of that to store the glasses. The Lazy Susan just allows you to have multiple type product, but not overwhelm the space with lots of clutter. And I also have some little glass serving dishes for condiments. And if you have children, you even have a space for little plastic cups. So if you truly want the display look, you're gonna have to prioritize the product that you purchase and how you factor it into your desired look. In the very top shelf, I went ahead and tried to maintain a structured look by utilizing this area for overflow condiments, but putting them into very nice clean line bins. In one bin, you'll see that I have sweet sauces, which is basically your sweet refills. Also, to the left of that, I have another bin of everyday condiments. Again, a lot of the product that you have needs to be prioritized, so make sure that whatever you have in your refrigerator is used up or is about to be used up before you purchase more. Now, one of the most common questions that I was asked in the picture on Instagram and Facebook, or the problem that people wanted a solution for, was the baking product. Now, for me, I can't stand the cabinet above the microwave because it is so useless. It's weird spacing. There's only available patches of space for different product, but I figured I would utilize that cabinet for all of the baking items since it's right over the area where you do baking. Now, of course, I did use King Dollar containers, but you could totally find containers for your needs at Dollar Tree or the 99-cent only store, and keep in mind free containers from product that you purchase on the regular. So the first container is pancake mix. I simply filled it up, labeled it, and took the instructions off of the pancake packaging and taped it to the back. This is nothing new. It's done all over the organization world, but because it just makes sense. Now you can do what I did with the coffee and simply put a measuring scoop into the container and it'll be there whenever you need it. Also, if you find a really good deal on something like cornmeal, that can also go into that space. It's something that you can get a really good deal on. If you need instructions, you can put it on the back. Again, it's nothing new, but it is totally logical and probably one of the best things to do. Next, I have 2 containers for flour. I have one large container. This one does not have instructions on the back, but because it is only a refill for the small container of flour. Now, you don't want to lug that big old container out every time you have a recipe. So if you see on the label, I put flour 2, because that one is the one that you want to grab for your everyday use. And again, you use the large one to refill the small one. Now, of course, we're going to use our common sense on this one. And if you don't need to have a huge backup container of one product, don't buy the product. It's that simple. Just use what you know you need for your family. Now, moving on into the free storage. So if you pay attention to the product that you buy on a weekly basis to feed your family, a lot of it will come in its own very nice container. These containers were actually deli meat containers from product from H-E-B. They are just big enough to go ahead and fill up with those cupcake liners, and I think it holds a ton of product and it stacks very well, and I absolutely love them. So If you're like me and you have 50,000 liners, go ahead and fill them up into those containers and they'll be nice and safe and easy to find. Plus they are transparent so you can see what you're looking for. Now you are definitely not limited just to cupcake liners. It's also great for your cookie cutter shapes and your stencils and things like that. It holds quite a bit in every single container. Again, you can just look right in there and see what you're looking for. Another great item to corral in one of these containers are your decorative icing tips. It's so easy for those to get lost, so to have a nice little spot for them is very, very good. Also, don't rule out flat Tupperware. I have a Rubbermaid container that I got for free through couponing a long time ago, and we simply use that for all of our candles. Now we got 50 kids, there's like 1,000 candles that we need in a matter of a few months. So for us, it's great to have these on hand. Now again, there's not a lot of space, so I wanted to maximize every bit of space by putting this in a flat container to stand up against the back of the cabinet. The last free container that I utilized was actually this clear one, which is another deli meat container, and I put all of the food dyes into the container to keep them corralled. And once again, it's clear, you can see through it, you just look into the cabinet and know what to pull down when you need it. Now in this cabinet is where I also keep my box of matches. Now I have these on hand in there for emergencies and for the candles. No other reason I don't pull them out for anything else. The last item that I have in that cabinet is just these cutters, and I didn't have anywhere else to put them, so they just fit in there perfectly on top of everything else. So as you can see, everything fits in very nice. It's kind of like a puzzle. You got to put it together, but once you figure out where things can go comfortably, it's so easy just to put it in there and pull it out when you need it. Now that is pretty much it for our baking cabinet. It is the best way to utilize this awkward space, and everything is accessible. As you can see, I definitely love it, but I'm not gonna miss this cabinet once we rip these out and put up our industrial shelving. Now moving on to the right hand side of the stove, we're going to take a look at how we're gonna store all of our can and jar goods. Now I wanted to be totally honest with myself, so I made sure to pull high quantity out of my staple items from my pantry and incorporate them into these systems so that it's very realistic to what I would do. Now this cabinet is not very long at all. It is just a few inches over 2 feet, and remember, we utilize that other cabinet for the majority of our dishes, so our main focus is going to be all of our grocery food items. So I pulled everything out of the cabinet and set it up so you could get an idea of how much product is going into that cabinet. Again, we want to make sure that our functionality is in line with our everyday actual use and display, because we all want to have something that looks nice and is organized so that we don't have to worry about the stress that comes along with having a lot of chaos. Now everything that I have pulled out is product that I actually use and in quantities that I would purchase for myself if I had this amount of space, and it's in multiples. You guys know I don't do one of anything really, so for me it made sense to get at least 4 of each type of product and more if it was available. Also, the sizes of each type of product ranges from 1 inch to 7 inches. So I did initially start with the 2x4 wrapped with duct tape to kind of create an elevated look, but it simply didn't allow me to fit nearly half of what was on the counter. And then I wanted to stack them up kind of in the same rolling system that I have in my pantry now, but the lip at the front of the cabinet was not big enough, so it would not prevent the cans from rolling right off that shelf. So I needed them to go side to side and front to back, but in order to do so, I had to create a lip. I created a lip by using a $1 short curtain rod that you can find at some dollar stores, and it added the perfect height so that those cans would not roll off of the shelf. This is perfect. Now you could definitely utilize anything else that kind of gives you a high lip, but for me, this is what I had in my house, so that's what I decided to use. Alright guys, so I don't know about you, but I think 48 cans is great for one shelf. Now let's move on to the next shelf. You could definitely utilize the same type of system using a tension rod, but in this one I wanted to give another option, so we're going to go with the 2x4. This is just going to allow us to add some elevation and kind of raise the back product. It gives it a nice overall look as well. Now I am repurposing product that I actually had on hand, which was the wood and some duct tape. The duct tape I found on clearance at Hobby Lobby for 89 cents. And I'm gonna stock it up with a lot of the staple grocery items that I purchase, but I don't buy in multiples of say 6 or 8 or anything like that. And I definitely think that we did a great job utilizing that space. Now I know some of you had concerns with your box food dinners such as mac and cheese or hamburger helper, rice-a-roni type foods. But I myself in my house do not have a lot of that product because I'll make it myself from scratch. But as you can see, every box has a weight, and on every box you also have the instructions. So what we're going to do is consolidate a lot of these products into one container to maximize your space. What you're going to do is take one container and pour all of your dry pasta into the container. After that, you're going to take the product packaging and simply cut out the instructions and the weight of the actual product. Once you have cut out those pieces of information, we're going to put it all together so that whenever you want to make the meal, you know exactly what the measurements are because you have the required information. Now, once you take out that product seasoning packet, it doesn't always have a name. So putting the instructions and the weight to the packet ensures that it won't get mixed up in the future. Once you've done that, which literally took about 40 seconds, you can simply put that into your seasoning refill basket and voila. And since each container can hold about 5 to 6 different packages depending on what type of product you're buying, you could have one specifically for your hamburger helpers, you could have one for your mac and cheeses, you could have one for plain dry pasta. And right next to that same area, you could have your basket with all your seasoning packets. It's a super easy system and it's so much more appealing to the eye, and it requires very minimal work to get the desired look that you want. And think about it, that's about 15 boxes that you don't have to worry about storing. I definitely think this part of the organization system was a huge success. Now the last thing to focus on is our seasonings, and I am simply utilizing product that I already had. I had 2 pieces of bamboo board from my drink station that I cut off from each side, and I just held on to them. And I used those along with a 2x4 wrapped with duct tape to create an elevated look. This is simply going to extend that designated area for all of our spices and oils. So closest to the stovetop, I have the cooking oil. Next to that, I have the spray oils. In front of those, I have my Medallion brand grinders, which you guys know I'm so proud of, and my everyday reach for product is in the front row. I made sure to keep my everyday reach for product first in sight so that it is just there whenever I need it for cooking. Now I get asked about my Kitchen Art seasoning pumps all the time, and I found them several years ago at King Dollar for $1.09 a piece. Now in the front I have my everyday reach for product, and in the back I have the product that I use every now and again. I feel like having them elevated but together kind of gives them a coordinated separation for easy grab for everyday product and the product that I don't use as often but I can still see. To the very far right, I have the mini seasoning jars. Now we all have that overflow stock of seasoning that we use once in a blue moon, and I felt like this was the appropriate place to store it. It's with like product, and you see it often enough to remember that it's there, and maybe you might want to use it up a little faster than you would if it was stored away. Each one has a super simple square paper label on it just so that I don't forget what they are. And quick tip guys, I have not purchased red chili and forever. I actually take the ones that you get from pizzas and I refill it into these containers. They like to throw those things at you, so the more the merrier because I just throw them all into that one container. Now, of course, we're going to need something to refill those containers with, and you simply use your Ziploc bags, masking tape, a pen, and create labels for backups, and you put them into that refill seasonings basket that you stored next to the pasta. And you never have to worry about your seasonings or anything looking unorganized or chaotic because you have just what you need accessible. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for my no pantry, no problem food and dish storage solutions for you guys. I really do hope that you got some kind of ideas and a place to start in your own cabinets. Again, I tried to stay real and true to systems that I've incorporated in the past for my own family. And a quick fun fact, guys, I don't do Pinterest. I have a Pinterest account and I have the slightest clue how to work it. I'm not a Pinterest person. My systems come from things that I have used throughout my young adult life, things that I have trial and errored, systems that are definitely worth giving a shot. So don't feel pressured to be Pinterest ready, guys. And that's it for today. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Google Plus at Coupon to Provide. And don't forget, guys, keep couponing. Bye.